running at a speed of 15.1 miles per hour. That's what it takes to run a sub-4-minute mile. A barrier that was once thought to be humanly impossible. Until this day, May the 6th, 1954, at Iffley Road Track in Oxford, England, in front of about 3,000 people, a medical student named Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute barrier.
Any obstacle that restrains
or obstructs progress.
Or obstructs progress.
Or obstructs progress.
A limit or a boundary.
A limit or a boundary.
A limit or a boundary of any kind.
Of any kind.
Of any kind. "55 seconds, I think, was a barrier that I was like, gosh, am I gonna get to 55? And get in the 54s. That was something that seemed very hard for me.
Tried multiple times to break 4 minutes in high school, but it was hard, man. I came close multiple times.
I was trying to break 9:45 or the 3200.
As I moved up through college, freshman year to break 2 was huge for me.
I ran 401, 402, 4 flat.
The magical number that I had to get, that I was shooting for, as probably many young kids, was the 2-minute barrier for the 800.
I remember 204 was a big time for me, and then 2 flat, and then after that it's just sub 2.
When I think of barrier, I think of mental barriers. The times when I was really, really focused and bearing down and looking at splits, and it never happened.
If you're thinking about negative stuff, that's gonna ruin your life. But if you're positive in what you're doing, if you have a bad workout today, it was it's okay.
But when you're able to just relax and just really tap into your inner competitor, all of a sudden, first race of the season, I broke 10 minutes after trying to for a whole year. It's important to be mentally tough and focused, but at a certain point, you have to just tap into that flow state.
Learn that it is a choice, and the mind is a muscle. And how do you really, that sense of freedom, it's so easy to identify with our performance and not outside of our performance. And that's just something I have to keep coming back to.
That was that breakthrough moment where I realized maybe I can reach that top echelon of runners.
Yeah, for me, I've been through so many mental barriers. I can't even count, but I'm so grateful for them. The barriers I went through have made me resilient and strong, and the person that I'm just so proud to be today.
Sport, like all of life, is about taking your chances.
So often we're afraid of pushing ourselves, because what if we push ourselves and we fail?
I thought it was inevitable, but then it was getting frustrating that it wasn't quite coming.
Occasionally I struggle with that confidence.
I'd be so afraid of pushing that boundary for fear of what would happen.
That's kind of when I got scared, because I was like, oh my gosh, I broke it. Does that mean this is the best I'm gonna get?
It's okay to be scared. The reality is, even at this level, someone asked me yesterday, do you still get nervous before races? Every single last one. Whatever you're going after, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be scary.
You do have to hurt in a race, and it's kind of an amazing feeling.
Kind of want to remember the things that you have done and been a part of.
The beauty in growth, the beauty in accomplishments is just getting over that fear and going after it and putting your all into it.
Then at the same time, you can't fail if you give it everything you've got.
This is something that I want to do, and this is something that I can do.
It gives you a lot of confidence that what you're doing it's the right path that you've chosen in life. Makes it absolutely worth it.
You cannot train alone and expect to run a fast time. There's a formula. 100% of me is nothing compared to 1% of the whole team.
The things that I've gone through in track have been some of the hardest things I feel like I've ever gone through. it's not just me out there on the track when I'm racing. It's everyone who's supported me. It's definitely the foundation of why I can keep pushing through despite injuries or challenges or setbacks.
Both my family and physiotherapists and doctors who I was around every single day, people that love me as a person first and foremost.
My mom and the people I surround myself with remind me constantly how much they love me, how great I am.
Friends and family and my fiance now, and like everything that I've kind of created is this little group around me that I go to them when I have success and go to them when I fall short of success. And without them, like the success wouldn't happen.
If it's time to focus on track, just focus on running. If it's time to focus on family, focus on that.
It's nice to go to dinner after a meet and talk about anything but track or about the race, and whether it's good or bad, it's nice to get away and have a group that cares about you and wants to know what you're doing.
Success isn't how far you got, but the distance you traveled from where you started.
For younger athletes, it's all about like just continuing to improve and continuing to gradually get better. It's not an overnight thing.
I like to talk about winning every day.
Build on what you're doing in your training and adding in little things like stretching and eating right and getting more sleep.
Real progress comes from those little steps.
You can just focus on the things that you have control over. At the end of the day, you don't have control over the time you run, but you do have control over the way you run it.
And it starts when you're young. You start getting those a habit that aren't necessarily running longer or faster, but keeping you healthy so you can do the next workout fast.
We focus on the outcome-based results, and that's where the stress comes in.
And I think if you zoom out and have that bigger perspective and stop maybe putting so much pressure on this one achievement.
Set your goals, shoot for it, train for it, and just stay calm and positive, trust yourself.
Follow your plan, surround yourself with good people who are gonna keep you accountable but also support you and love you.
Let the speed out. Let the speed out. Just go and let your body do what it's meant to do. This is such a small window, and we have to take advantage of this opportunity, because before we know it, it's gonna be over.
I would tell them not to back down from barriers because they're only challenging you so that you can get to the next step.
Everything in life happens for a great reason. Not a good reason, but a great reason.
But don't worry if you fail. Failure actually will help you in the future.
From Ifley Road Track in England, all the way to JDL Fast Track in North Carolina, the 4-minute barrier has been broken by over 1,500 runners. What barrier will you break next?
Oh my gosh, I could talk about breakfast forever.
Good Belgian waffle.
You know, I like to mix sweet and savory.
I can do pancakes, only my mom's pancakes.
Do you think if I go to a restaurant and ask for peanut butter with my pancakes, people are gonna say this is weird?
Yes, absolutely.
Syrup makes me feel gross, you know? Like, I don't love it.
It's not legit if it doesn't have the sugar.
But mix some granola into it.
Chocolate chip, pecan.
I mean, I'll still eat that in season.